Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. We've got a really pretty spider to do today, and that is the Amazonia germani, or the orange tree spider from Guyana. Now these really are a really pretty spider, and I'm surprised we don't see more of them, to be honest. So they are an arboreal spider. They do have a little bit of spicy about them. Sometimes they can be good, other times they can be a bit on the fast side, a little defensive. So we are going to set up a straightforward 20 by 20 by 30 exo here, which is going to be more than enough for this spider. They don't get massively huge, but they do web quite a bit. So we're going to see how she goes in this one. We might move her up later on. We'll see how things pan out. But at the moment, this is going to be enough. Now we can even breed them in these size enclosures. All we need to do is change and put them in a net so that we can cohabit them. And if we can cohabit them, that gives them all the space that they need. So just because you've got your spiders in a smaller enclosure doesn't mean you can't breed them. Where there's a will, there's a way, they say. Right, so now these guys like it fairly humid as well. So obviously coming from Guyana, it tends to be a little bit on the humid side. So we are going to dig this down deep, give it enough of a corner in which to disappear into. Now what we're doing here, we've got a mixture. This soil is an absolute mixture of stuff, where we've cleaned out a lot of old tanks, and we've literally got an absolute mix of things in there, and that's all well and good as long as we don't put any heavily anything that's been living in there that's kicking out a lot of hairs and things like that. We don't bother reusing their stuff, because to be honest with you, once you start messing around with it, we end up itching like nuts, and yeah, it's not very nice. So we don't tend to use things like the brackies and anything that kicks a lot of hairs. We don't bother with. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this plant in. Now bearing in mind, these guys can web up quite a bit, but in our experience, most of the webbing has been done in the back of the enclosure. So I'm hoping this one ain't going to be any different, and it will just do up the back. So then we're going to have that, and we're going to put our branch. Now notice now we got a bit of branch here that we just collected. It's been sat around in the garden for ages, and it's actually dried out. So it's not looking its best, but it will serve its purpose. Now quite often we see in the enclosures, people like to put them in the natural form, so like the thick end down going up and all the rest of it. We're going to put this in upside down now, because it actually serves as a better thing for us. For our purpose in this particular enclosure, this is going to be better upside down. So we are literally going to plonk it in like so. Bury the end in, so that will secure it, and then what we're hoping for is our spider will eventually sit out on this, all being well. I'm going to get my water bottle. Let me get my sprayer ready, because we know how hot this stuff gets. Look at that, look, as soon as you pump it out, the smoke comes pouring off of it. So we want a reasonable good dollop of it. One thing I do notice with this black stuff, it does look a lot better in the enclosure, but it heats up
much higher than that.
Yeah, it gets really quite watery, and hence this is why I always end up getting burnt by it. So we're going to fill our water bowl up there. We're going to give our plant a bit of a water in here. Now this is a thing that we mentioned in I think it was our last video actually. We was talking about humidity. Now this is a spider that that is going to really enjoy a quite high humidity. And many of you are still asking the same question about how do you achieve this humidity within your enclosure. We're going to have a wire top on this, which I'm hoping is just about going to sit in there. Just push that down a little bit. Hopefully that'll be enough. Let me just check that. Now, yeah, that's fine. So we are going to have a wire top on here. Again, the wire causes a little bit of discussion, shall we say. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people think that their spiders are going to get hooked up in it. We use them an awful lot, and we don't have any of them issues. We really don't. So yeah, we don't find it an issue. Now, one thing with the wire is it will allow the humidity and the moisture within your enclosure to disappear, which is exactly what we want. We want that moisture to be able to rise up, which creates humidity, which then leaves the enclosure. We then replace it by adding more water to our enclosure. Now, in an enclosure like this is a small enclosure, it's tempting to get your spray gun and spray the whole thing. That is not a good idea, in my opinion. I don't like to do that.
Because it spikes it rather than...
It does spike it, but what you're doing is you are looking, by spraying it, you are looking at a temporary humidity. Yeah, it's only going to last as long until it dries out.
So the evaporation
It
rate.
will evaporate really, really quickly because it's literally covering all these outside surfaces, and it will just evaporate really fast. So what we do, by having the plants in there, not only does the plant gives us a nice natural look, it gives a nice environment for our spider as well. You know, everything about it is really, really good. But what we can do when we want to up the humidity, all we do is we water our plant like so. That then seeps down into the soil is wet, and that will evaporate but at a much slower rate, and it will create a nice even humidity within the enclosure. So rather than chasing humidity numbers, just look after your plant. Yeah, so we're going to try a different thing now. This is what we do here, but we're going to try and explain this in a different way so it's easier for people to understand, because humidity is an absolute minefield in this hobby. You know, people really, really struggle with understanding and trying to achieve it. And we found by using this method, this is the easiest and simplest way of maintaining that humidity. You don't have to hit it bang on the number. You know, as long as there is a relative humidity in there, it's going to be enough. These spiders are really, really cool at adapting to whatever the situation is, and us watering that still means that their environment remains dry, which is how they like it. They don't like getting wet
Use
feet.
the word clever rather than cool when we're talking about temperatures.
Well, yeah.
They're not cool as in cold, they're cool as in clever.
Yeah, they are. They literally know what they're at. You know, they can adapt really well. So by doing it this way, we can maintain our humidity in a much, much simpler way. It really is that simple. Do not get tied up in chasing them numbers about. They really aren't that important, you know, in the grand scheme of things. And for, you know, new people to the hobby, and even some people that have been in it for a while, you know, chasing them numbers can be soul destroying, can be really, really hard. So give up with the numbers and just keep your plants healthy. That will in turn keep your spider healthy. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hook out this beautiful, beautiful orange tree spider and see how she behaves. Now, these, as we said, these are an arboreal spider, so they're adept at moving around just about anywhere and everywhere. Some of them can be a bit on the feisty side. Most of them are fast. All of them are super pretty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that piece of bark out of there so we don't have that falling over the place. We're going to get our tweezers. We're going to take our water bowl out. This was just a temporary home. This girl came in a collection, and as was quite often happens, we look at our collections and we keep, you know, a fair percentage of the collection we actually keep for ourselves, and then what we can't make use of or don't use, we then put out. So this girl is staying here. So what we're going to do now, we are going to treat exactly the same. We're going to get the brush and we're going to just touch her. There you go, she knows we're there now. So you see how she's moving very, very slowly. This is exactly what we want to do.
Touching your brush there a little.
Yeah, she's giving it a little feel. We're just putting a little bit of pressure.
She don't like that new bit of wood.
No, anything new is always a little bit of a thing to them. We're going to get under here. Oh, there you go. She's giving the brush a little like, what are you doing? Get off me. That's fine. She's still not upset. She's just giving it a little telling off. And now look at her. Isn't she absolutely stunning? She's got a massive big abdomen on her. She's been very well fed. We are going to try and get some pictures because we just don't see much of these guys. I can't get a decent picture because of the light.
On this side.
I might have to. So we're going to try and get a decent thumbnail. Oh, that does look pretty. Look at that. Always good to get some pictures. Right, so that's that. That's good. That was nice and easy. And as you can see there, she is relatively calm. But look at the colouring.
Can you try and get a bit of light on this, if we can get those oranges to come out?
You can give it a go.
Yeah, it's just not showing up that the depth of the colour.
Yeah. Now, as you can see, she's almost, they say an orange tree spider, but I'd rather say it was a bit more peachy.
Yeah.
It's got a lovely, lovely peachy colour. There's a little bit of green in that carapace. A little bit of green in the very front legs there. But what an absolutely smashing spider. Really, really cool. Very, very nice. I am very surprised we don't see more of these guys. They literally are wonderful, wonderful creatures. Now, as we said, these guys do like it humid. That being said, good ventilation again is quite a, you know, it's worth it with all of your spiders. We want good ventilation with all of our spiders. Food wise, as you can see, this girl has had quite the appetite. She's got quite a rotund abdomen there, but it's still not, it's not massively overweight. For the Tapinauchenius genus of spiders, this is quite a regular sort of like size abdomen, to be fair. They're quite a long abdomen. She's in wonderful condition. She's just having a little look. Now you notice how many of these spiders that are they're often classed as quite light sensitive. Well, no, don't go that way. Oh,
She felt that would be moved.
Yeah, she felt it, and that was partly my fault because it literally, rather than coming along, I lost my grip on the bit of wood and it gave it a bit of a jolt. So we're going to get her to come back. There you go. Here she comes. You should get a nice look at her like that. So even though there, we managed to scare her a little bit by jolting the piece of wood, but you can see how quickly we can calm it down. And all we done there was we lifted the piece of wood up so that she couldn't gain access to the bench itself. If she'd managed to get her feet to the bench, she would have shot off across the bench. So by using our piece of wood, we managed to avoid that.
For an aerial shot for that bum.
I'll turn it over a little bit more. You can see how the angle of the wood changes, how her posture changes. She's holding on. She's got absolutely lovely, like, the feet on her.
Little socks.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
Going under the leg. So we can see.
Very, very pretty. So as you can see, just because they have a little bit of a reputation doesn't necessarily mean they're going to show it. It's all about looking at your spider, reading the signs and seeing how she's behaving. Now in terms of food, we can feed this girl pretty much anything. I like to use red runners, dubia roaches, large crickets would be fine. There's not much this girl won't take, to be fair. As long as it's moving, they'll be out and about. Now in terms of a display spider, these aren't too bad. They will spend, depending on the individual, some will spend it out and about, others can be a little bit reclusive. But they do some really nice webbing, and when you do see them and they come out, I mean, can you imagine walking into your room and seeing this sitting out on its log, just doing its thing? What a wonderful sight to meet you. Really is very, very, very pretty. So we're hoping she's actually going to sit out and make her home in here. Now that she's actually in the middle of the log, this will be a bit interesting, seeing if we can get her to come off of the log. We've got a rather large piece of log here, to be fair. What we don't want is
We've got a big bit of wood, Dave.
We've got an under. Right, here we go. So what we're going to do now is we are going to try.
Why won't she go under?
I don't want to, because it's the lip of the wood is on the edge of the enclosure. So I'm hoping she'll reach out, but there is a gap there, so she might just, that's better. Try and block that off. Right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to touch her foot very, very gently. See how we just tickle her foot? We want you to go sideways. See how we're using the side of the brush now? So we are getting almost, rather than poking her, we are getting it to move. She's found the hole underneath the wood, look at that. And she's now on the enclosure.
She's on the lazy Sue. Uh-oh.
She's on the lazy Susan. Now she's under the lazy Susan. She's found that dark spot. Not to worry. So what we do is we just take our enclosure off. We'll go back to the old-fashioned way. This is the only problem with having them on a piece of wood, is they might just decide to walk off in the wrong direction. But if you remember, just stay calm. There's nothing that she can do that's going to cause us any major issues. Remember, if you're using one of these and your spider, like ours, is now gone underneath, there is a round foot to this, and she will be underneath, literally on the underside of this. So don't go sticking your fingers underneath to pick it up, because you might just end up sticking your finger in your spider, and she's not going to enjoy that. So she will retaliate, and you might end up getting a little nip on your finger. So what we do is we get the edges with your fingertips. Literally just hold the edges with your fingertips like this. If for any reason you feel your spider come into your fingers, just let go of the lazy Susan. Much better that than do anything else. When we lift this up, as we turn it, this is going to make her feel like her whole world is going upside down, and she may well bolt or make a move or do something. So Or she might just hunker down, which is hopefully what she will do. But she may well just go into I need to get out of here mode. So be aware, hold it up, keep it over the table. We can use our thumbs to steady us. Keep it up level like that. If we keep it level, oh look at that, she's actually on the table.
Oh, well, that made it easy.
That was nice and simple. She actually went underneath and she was on the bottom of that. So all we've got to do now, this is simple now, we just get our catch cup.
She looks lovely on that black.
She does look really smart, don't she?
Yeah.
I think I might just get a picture. You see,
She looks so pretty.
we're always making use of the opportunity. How about that for a picture? Look at that. So we're going to get our catch cup. We're just gently going to put it over the top. Yeah, nice and easy. She's still good as gold. And then with our lid, we can come in, taking our lid. You notice how she's already on the lid. And then we literally just do that. And there she is. So we're going to put that over there. Put our Lazy Susan. Now, as we said, if she was on the underside of this, we would pick it up like this. And we would just lift it up, keep it level. And then we can look underneath. And we can see where she is. Once we know where she is, turn it away from yourself, like so. And then you would literally turn it up like that. And then hopefully she would have been sat here somewhere, you know. And then we can literally just put this down, catch cup, or do whatever we've got to do. So always think about how your movement is going to change how your spider reacts. If you're really quick and you're twisting stuff around, it's not good, you know, it's going to upset her. And she is going to react in flight. So what we're going to do now, we are going to put this on there. And we can use our lid because we've already got this in our hand. So there's no need for us to go for anything else. We can use the base and we can just touch it with that. As soon as you start getting a little bit of leg movement, she's going in the right direction. I'm going to move her across. We want her to go on this stick if we can get her to. There you go. She's in. She is in. Deep into the undergrowth she disappears.
Luckily we got some footage of her.
But as you can see there now, she can hide away in there. She can sit in there all day long now, waiting for night time to come along before she disappears and has a good wander about. So that is one happy spider. And as we saw there, just by carrying on with our normal gentle approach, we can keep a spicy spider in a relatively good mood.
Spicy to sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Even though she left the piece of wood and come down on here, at no point did she go tearing around, you know? And that is what it's all about, keeping them nice and calm. And hopefully our plant will do well as well. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That is truly a really, really pretty spider. And it'll be a nice one to add to our collection and hopefully breed her in the future. She's in super condition, so she's ready to go. And yeah, we will be on the lookout for a male, see what we can do. And yeah, try and pair them. What a wonderful addition to the beastie room. Really pleased with that. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Learned a few tips. And don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you all soon, guys.